Nick from my staff is running it, so.
Hey, Sean, thanks for the time. Hope you're doing well, brother.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
From there, I gotta ask you, with Keelan King, what have you noticed with him, and what happened on that the interception there?
Yeah, no, Kalen's been making plays throughout the whole spring. Coach wasn't lying. I just heard him talk about Kalen. He's taken huge steps, and a lot of guys have a lot of confidence in him. And it's impressive to watch him and his brother work because he's just instinctual. Like, he just makes plays on the ball. And on that one particularly, like, that was my read. Stepped up in the pocket because we didn't pick up the blitz correctly. But that's something we can correct. And then for me, I just got to pack the rock and say, go ahead and take it down. So I got my eyes there, and I thought I had a shot to put it up, but I left it a little short, and then he had to play on the ball over our guy. So that's just one of those where you just got to make judgment calls every once in a while. You got to figure out which one you want to do, which ones you don't. And I shouldn't have taken that one. So it was a great play by him. Great play.
We'll go to Joe Giuliano next.
Good morning, Sean, or good afternoon. I'm sorry.
Afternoon. Yeah, it's almost nighttime.
I got up late. I just wondered if you could evaluate your performance during the spring. What kind of progress have you made, and how have you become more accustomed to Coach Ursuch's and the way he operates?
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I'm not going to go through myself. I think that just from an offensive perspective, I think that we're growing every day. We've installed a lot. We've had to install pretty much every single day. And so you just had to learn to adapt and grow on the fly and learn. You just got to retain all this information and make sure that you're getting everything before practice. And you gotta really, really grind at it. And I think that, that's what Coach Ursuch does so well, is he pushes us to another level. Like before, I looked at everything one way, but, Coach Ursuch has kind of brought another level of competition, another level of focus to me, and kind of showed me a different side. So I think that I'm excited about it. I know he is, and I'm excited just to see how the offense grows from here.
Daniel Gallen.
Hey, Sean, given how, last fall went in 2020 in general, what was it like to be back in Beaver Stadium, have student fans, in the student section? What was that kind of environment like? And did it feel, a little bit, back to normal, or at least kind of headed in that direction?
Yeah, it was awesome. I really appreciate the fans for coming out today and supporting us. After last season, it was a weird year in general, but not having everybody there and not having the 107K and the Sweet Caroline going, there's just so much that you miss. And then it was just, it was a little bit of it, it was just a fraction of the normal capacity, but at the same time, it was still so exciting to be out there and hearing all the fans, hearing them sing, doing the alma mater. It's the little things like that you don't really appreciate until they're gone. And, we actually had them taken away last year. So this year, you just can't take them for granted. And I really appreciate everybody for coming out. And I'm excited to see everybody again next week, Friday.
Again, if anyone has a question for Sean, just use the raise your hand function and I'll ask you on mute. We'll go to Gabriel Angieri.
Hey, Sean, thank you for your time. With the lack of reps that Taekwon and Christian have had so far, because they're inexperienced, how have you kind of helped them along, and how have you seen them develop along?
Yeah, I think that they're both doing a great job. I think that in our quarterback rooms, trying to take that next step and just continuing to push each other, learn from mistakes. And I think that that's the thing that we have to grow the most with two guys who really haven't played that much football in game experience. It's just making sure that, you go past, or you go in the past, you look at the games from 2020, you look at the games from 2019, and I can reference all those plays because I was in the game, and it's kind of putting them in the same, in my mind during that game. So that way they can kind of see it themselves. and then they theoretically get the reps. Obviously they didn't do them, but at the same time, film is very valuable and you can get a lot from film. So it's just going back and making sure that they're locked in, they're paying attention, which they are. They've done a great job so far, and then I'm just making sure that I can give them as much of my experience and my knowledge as possible, in addition to what Coach Schursich brings. That's how we take the next step.
David Eckert.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. I'm just wondering, obviously, you're a veteran by now. You've done all this before. What do you take from today? Is today any different than any of the other practices? How do you kind of, what do you take away from today?
I think that for me, it's another practice. Every practice, I always think about it. I always practice 11. So for me, I'll never get another practice 11, 2020, 2021 practice again. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to take each practice the same way, and make sure that it's the best practice you're going to have, and prepare that way every single day. And that gives you the best shot to improve. That gives you the best shot to make strides. Because it's tough throughout the year to sometimes you look at the bigger picture, or you want to look at the bigger picture. You feel like you're not you're not preparing for a game. So it's just spring ball. You can take a day off, but that's just not the mentality you can have. So it's just taking every single day. How can I make this the best Saturday practice of the year? How can I make this the next Monday when we come back? How can I make Monday the best practice of the year? And it's just that constant focus to get 1% better every day. And that's where you can make the biggest strides throughout the year.
Joe Giuliano.
Sean, could you evaluate the wide receivers, what you saw from the younger guys this spring, or what you're seeing, and how do they stack up as far as depth?
Yeah, for sure. I think that the wide receivers there's someone talking. I can't really pay attention to Are you good? Yeah, there you go. It was about the wide receivers. The wide receivers have been doing a really good job. I think that Jahan is doing a really good job of bringing everybody along, sharing knowledge, pushing everybody in that group, being more of a vocal leader. I think that that's what Jahan's probably done the most this spring, is making sure that he's not only the guy on the field that's doing it, which he's always been, but he hasn't always been the vocal guy, and he's kind of stepped up and really taken a big step there. And then in addition to that, Parker makes plays on the ball. It's impressive to see him work. He's got great ball skills. Keandre Lambert, another guy who can make plays on the ball, really shifty. And it's cool to see those guys starting to come along. I think that Malik's doing great things. Jaden Dotton, Marquise Wilson moved over, and he's made some great plays. He's just raw right now because he just moved over from corner. But at the same time, I'm very excited about what Marquise has got to bring to the table. And the list goes on and on. So it's definitely exciting. You got the vets like Daniel George, Cam Sullivan Brown, obviously, but it's nice to see the young guys kind of step up throughout the spring and make some big plays.
And Jones, followed by Daniel Gallen.
John, what are you most satisfied with right now in terms of your progress, and what's the most frustrating thing?
I would say the most satisfying thing is just the day-to-day, having the opportunity to improve and get better. I've really started to focus and hone in this year on just taking it one day at a time, because that's all that I can control. I can't control what happens, game day against Wisconsin right now. That's not in my control. But at the same time, I can control what I do tomorrow, what film I watch, what I do with my body. Monday, I can control that practice when it comes along. But it's just taking it every single day. It's relaxing tonight, so that way I make sure that I'm ready for tomorrow to get rehab and film up and all that. So that's definitely the most I guess what I think the word exciting or whatever it may be. And then frustrating, there's not much frustration right now. I'm really content with where I'm at. Last season was last season, so there's nothing really to harp on now. And I'm just excited to have this new fresh start with this team. A bunch of guys who are really hardworking. This is one of my favorite teams that I've had to be a part of. And it's really exciting to come in and lead every day because everybody's willing to listen and everybody's willing to be here and everybody wants to be here. And it's very cool for me as a leader and an old guy veteran. And as I talk to the other vets like Tariq and Brisker and all those guys, Mike Miranda, we all say the same thing. It's like it's easy to come into work because everybody wants to be there. And it just makes life a lot easier. So no problems right now. Just having fun with it.
Daniel Gallen.
Sean, in these 11 or 12 practices under Mike Yursich, where have you kind of seen, do you feel like you've seen kind of the full potential of what this offense could be, and what do you guys want to accomplish with these final few practices coming up?
I'd love to say that I've seen like the full potential, but we install new stuff all the time. So, I don't think I've seen the full potential. There's so much more that we can grow on. There's a bunch of MAs today, bunch of missed throws by me, missed reads by some guys, and it's just one of those things. Like, we scored a bunch of times today, which is great, but we want to score every drive. We're playing with tempo now. We're playing. We'll throw deep. We'll slow it down. We'll get under center. We just do so much. So it's just the spectrum is so wide, and it's just so exciting for me as a quarterback to be able to kind of grow with a coach who he kind of has everything. He has every package. So it's really exciting for me. He's putting a lot of trust in me so far. And I'm just going to continue to work hard for him so that way I can show him that I can handle whatever he throws at me.
Go to Corey Geiger.
Hi, Sean. Where do you feel like your consistency has been this spring?
Where has it been?
Yeah, your consistency throwing the football. How has that been this spring?
Good. I feel great throwing right now. I feel consistent. It's just the day to day. As long as you come in prepared and you take care of your body and you make sure that the day before you're doing the right stuff, and it's easy to come in feeling prepared. Actually, something that was actually really interesting that I think I should share. Barney and Moore, one of our transfer punters, said something about sacrifice in a team meeting yesterday, which was very, very cool. I haven't really thought about it this way, but when we talk about sacrifice, it's one of our core values. And Barney actually said that is it really sacrifice if the end goal is what you really want? Because if it's sacrificing, it's usually as a negative connotation about how you're giving up something. And it's like, I have to sacrifice it to get to the next point. But Barney brought up, if we want to get better tomorrow, going to bed at 10 o'clock, it's not a sacrifice. It's just what you got to do. It's just what's in the way. And you should be like, oh yeah, I want to go to bed at 10 because I want to have a great day tomorrow. And I thought that was pretty cool that he said that.